Okay, so I sharpened the knife on a 220 diamond plate. I put the edge under the microscope and I measured thousands of individual scratches. What I found changes how I think about grit ratings. Look at these scratches. They're all from the same stone, same session. Some are wide and deep, others are barely there. Why? What's going on at the surface of a stone that makes a 22 grit produce such different scratches? Let me show you what I mean. These scratches here, they're clearly wider and deeper than the ones around them. Same stone, same stroke. Something is different about the particle that made these. So I put the stone itself under the microscope. This is a Sharpel 220 diamond plate at high magnification. So what you're looking at are individual diamond particles embedded in a nickel plating. Each one of these is a cutting point, and already you can see they're not all the same size. Here's a different view. You can see there are highs and lows. Some diamonds sit proud of the surface and others are almost flush with the plating. That height difference determines how deep each particle cuts. I went through and I identified three things. Large particles in yellow, these are the ones doing the most aggressive cutting. Small particles in green, barely contributing, and gaps in blue, dead zones, where there's no diamond at all. Some of these large particles are 3 to 4 times the size of the small ones. And remember, this is supposed to be a uniform 220 grit surface. So now, when you look at the edge again, the scratch pattern makes sense. The deep gouges come from those oversized particles. The fine scratches come from the small ones, and the unevenness in the spacing matches the gaps on the stone. But I didn't want to just eyeball this. I wanted to remove subjectivity. I wanted to measure it. So I ran a statistical analysis across all three edge images. In total, we measured 56,964 individual scratch segments across 480 horizontal transects. Three edges from the same knife, so two sides from one sharpening, plus a separate session. Here's what the data says. The biggest scratch on this edge is 4.5 times wider than the average, and 27 times wider than the smallest one. Same stone, same stroke, same so-called 220 grit. The average scratch is about 6 pixels wide, but on average, each scratch differs from that by about 4 pixels. That's 60% spread. In statistics, this is called the coefficient of variation, and 60% is rather high. And of course, it's the outliers that matter most. The typical scratch is 5 pixels wide and moderately deep, but the worst 5% are 12 pixels wide and almost twice as deep. Those are the scratches that define how rough your edge actually feels. Everything else is background noise. Now, do bigger particles cut deeper? Yes. The correlation between scratch width and scratch depth is 0.78 out of 1. That is an incredibly high correlation. That means the oversized particles aren't just making wider scratches, they're making deeper ones too. They dominate the finish. Now, the obvious question is this just bad technique on my part? Well, we can check that too. So, my stroke angle was consistent to within 3 degrees. 86% of all scratches go the same direction, and yet the width still varies by 64%. My stroke is consistent, the stone, however, is not. So, of course, one image could be a fluke. So, I measured three edges. Edge 1 and 3 are two sides of the same sharpening, and edge 2 is a completely separate session. So, what are the results? Well, the width variances are 60, 66, and 64%. The spacing variance is 43, 56, and 50%. Now look at my stroke angle. It went from 6.5 degrees standard deviation down to 2.8 degrees standard deviation. Edge 3 has 100% of scratches within 10 degrees of vertical. That's a real improvement in technique. And it made zero difference to the width variance. The stone does not care how good your technique is. So the takeaway, 220 grit is a label. It's not a promise of uniformity. What this stone actually delivers is a range of scratch sizes dominated by a minority of oversized particles. So what do we do with this? Stone reviews today, they are rather subjective. It's smooth, it cuts fast. That doesn't tell us much. So what if we could objectively measure what a stone does to an edge? Not just how it feels, but what it actually produces. Scratch width distribution, spacing consistency, the correlation between particle size and scratch depth. We've shown that this is reproducible across these edges. So same protocol, same metric, consistent results across edges and sessions. This means we have a baseline. So this Sharple 220 now has a measured fingerprint. The width variance is around 60 to 66%. Spacing variance around 50%. Strong width to depth coupling. And the 220 grid is the right place to start. At this coarseness, the sketches are big, clear, and easy to measure under the microscope. There's no ambiguity about what you're looking at. That makes it ideal for developing and validating a protocol. The real question is whether this still works at finer grids, where the sketches get smaller and harder to resolve. That's something we need to test. Okay, so how do we compare stones? Well, one knife, we sharpen it on stone A, and we measure both sides, and then we sharpen that same knife on stone B. Measure both sides again. So the same blade with the same microscope, we have the exact same magnification and the same lighting. So the only variable is the stone. So can we trust the absolute numbers that produces? To some extent, yes. But pixel width depends on magnification, apparent depth depends on lighting, but that doesn't matter because both measurements are made on the same knife under the exact same conditions. So if stone A produces a width variance of 60% and stone B produces a variance of 35%, that difference is real. In the comparison, we can trust it 100%. The absolute values might be slightly off with reality, but they are off in the same way to the same extent for both stones. It's the relative comparison that counts. So what is next? So the first thing would be to compare a few 220 grid stones with the same protocol. And then perhaps some stones of which we know that they should have lower variance to validate the protocol. I think about resin-bounded stones and perhaps even water stones. And then going forward, I would like to check if we can also use it for lower grids, let's say 600, perhaps 400 first, 600, and 1000, and see where we end up. So if you want to see how other stones compare, please subscribe. If you have a stone tested, drop it in the comments. I'll see if I can find it and compare it to this stone. And if you like to see some of my other videos, you can click the link on screen. See you guys later.